One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Jesus and his disciples boarded a small boat to cross the Sea of Galilee. It had been a long day of teaching and healing, and Jesus, exhausted, fell asleep in the stern of the boat, resting his head on a cushion. At first, the journey was peaceful. The cool evening breeze brushed against their faces, and the calm waters mirrored the twilight sky. The disciples rowed steadily, talking in hushed tones about the miracles they had witnessed earlier that day. But suddenly, without warning, the weather shifted. Dark clouds rolled in, blotting out the stars. The wind began to howl, and waves started crashing against the boat. The tranquil sea turned into a violent storm. The disciples, seasoned fishermen accustomed to rough waters, quickly realized this was no ordinary storm. The waves grew taller, their boat tossed like a toy in the furious sea. Water began to fill the vessel, threatening to sink it. Fear gripped their hearts as they struggled to keep the boat afloat. In the chaos, one of them glanced toward the stern where Jesus still slept, undisturbed by the storm raging around them. Bewildered and desperate, they rushed to him. "Teacher!" they cried out, their voices trembling with panic. "Don't you care if we drown?" Jesus opened his eyes, his expression calm and steady, unaffected by the fear around him. He stood up, walked to the edge of the boat, and raised his hand. "Peace, be still." In an instant, the wind stopped. The waves calmed. The raging sea became as smooth as glass. The storm that had terrified the disciples vanished completely, leaving only silence and stillness behind. The disciples stood there, drenched and awestruck, their hearts pounding from what they had just witnessed. Jesus turned to them, his voice gentle yet firm. "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" His words pierced their hearts. They had seen him heal the sick, cast out demons, and perform miracles, yet in their moment of fear, they had doubted. They looked at one another, whispering, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." That night on the Sea of Galilee, the disciples learned a profound truth. Jesus was not just their teacher or healer. He was the Lord over nature itself. The storm that had once filled them with terror now became a reminder of his power and presence. This story speaks to all of us. How often do we face storms in our lives, moments when fear threatens to overwhelm us? In those times, it can feel like Jesus is asleep, unaware of our struggles. But just like that night on the sea, he is always with us, ready to calm the storms with his peace. So, the next time you feel the winds of worry or the waves of doubt crashing over you, remember, the same Jesus who calmed the sea is the one who holds your life in his hands. Trust him, for his power is greater than any storm. And with him, peace is always within reach. Like, share, and subscribe for more interesting biblical videos.